In this short video, you are going to learn how to create a 4-bar chord progression that makes use of both major and minor chords, the difference between root position and inverted position, and one technique you can use to make your chord progressions more interesting. Hi, I'm Scott McLean from TranceMusicMastery.com. Let's get started. I'm going to start with the piano. So let's look at the MIDI clip and go through the chord progression. Solaris is in the key of A minor. The first two chords are A minor and G major. So let's hear how this first 2 bars sounds. And then the third chord we're going to look at this. If I move that down to here, now this chord is in the root position. So we've got a D, an F, and an A, and that corresponds to a D minor chord. But to give it a little bit of interest, I did what's called an inversion. I inverted the chord by placing the root note 1 octave higher. So now this is an inverted form of the D minor chord, and it sounds like this. Now, one thing I need to do is point out for the left hand that's kind of playing sort of a bass note, if you will. Instead of playing, normally you would play a D. Typically, what happens when you line these chords up is if this were in the root position, then you would play D in the bass, okay, in the left hand. So let's hear how it would sound if I did use a D as the root. And then even have this inverted as it is. So now there's this form. All right, compared to right? It kind of messes with our head a little bit, right? Our brain's trying to think, oh, is that an F chord or is that a D chord? It's kind of not really sure. So it adds a little bit of a sort of a different flavor to the chord. I did the same technique with the next chord here, which is an E minor. So if I put this in root position, it would look like this. I also did not use the root note E for the bass note here. I went up to G, which is part of the chord, so F and G here. So let me put that back. So now these next 2 chords, the D and the E, let's look at those. And then it goes down to an F, A, C, which is an F major chord. So one thing to point out is over here I've got an A minor, followed by an A minor, followed by a G major. So it's minor, minor, major. And then over here I've got a D minor, an E minor, and then an F major, so it's minor, minor, major. I'm also following the same rhythmic pattern of these first 3 chords that are played and the second set of 3 chords that are played. Rhythmically, they're the same. So if we play these first 6 notes or chords, let's hear how that sounds. Okay, that's the main chord progression. There's an additional playing of G major here at the end to connect to the A minor. This is the chord progression. It's really a 4-bar chord progression. And if I loop these first 4 bars and play it, we can hear the main chord progression of this project. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.